Hi, Lifeline kids.
Hi.
It's Aaron and Krista here. Now, since our church has shifted to this virtual format, we wanted to make sure that you do not lose any time in Sunday school. So while your parents have a video of Pastor Brian and his sermons, you will get a video here for Sunday school. And every week that we have this virtual format, we'll make sure that you get to have your Sunday school. Aaron, do you have anything to add? Where'd he go? Where could he be? Where can I find him? Maybe I'll look. Is he in the coat closet? Nope, not there. Oh. Aaron? Are you in the bathroom? Coming in. Nope, not there. Under the blanket? Nope, not there. Is he under the couch? Nope, not there. Is he in the kitchen? No, not there. Is he behind the table? Is he behind that toilet paper fort? Is he behind the guitar? Wait! A toilet paper fort? Aaron, is that you? What are you doing back there?
Well, you got really scared with that stuff you were talking about, and it made me want to hide, and when I thought, oh no, I should hide, I thought of Tide. Because we were out of laundry detergent, so I figured I might as well go to the store first, because that's important. And when I got to the store, people were having a panic attack and just throwing stuff at me, and I figured, oh, look at that, I also need toilet paper, good thing, and I grabbed the last one. It was a vicious battle, but I made it. And now I got back, and it's, oh yeah, I gotta go hide, because look what's going on. It's crazy. So I'm making sure that I'm taken care of.
Wow, so you're really scared about what's going on?
Yeah, you should be too.
Really? What are you so afraid about?
Just, there's so much out there that's scared about, but you know what? I'd rather tell you, like, differently.
Yeah, let's get you out of there.
Okay.
Oh boy, you made a hat?
What hat? Well, you see, there are so many things I'm afraid of and make me want to hide. So, one, sickness. There's apparently something called the Coca-Cola virus going around. Okay, that's a big deal. Earthquakes. Another big deal. Church is closing on Sundays. So I can't go to church and see my friends. That's a bummer. That makes me nervous. When am I going to see them again? Apparently I can't go to Chuck E. Cheese anymore. That's my favorite place. That makes me really nervous. The lady at Chick-fil-A didn't even say, my pleasure, what's up with that? School at home, boring. Spring break, that's one of my favorite times of the year. I was going to go to Disneyland, but no, I can't. That's a bummer. And I can't see my friends. Again, maybe I think I saw a duck, and I'm pretty sure he knows where I live. That's scary. The people I live with driving me crazy.
All right. Okay, so that's really understandable. There are a lot of things going on right now that can make us scared. You know what, Aaron? The lesson that we had prepared for Sunday school, I think is really going to help. Do you want to go through it with me?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Excellent. Let's sit at the table.
Great.
All right, Aaron. One thing that you might not know is that we begin every Sunday school with a special team. And this Sunday, the special team was supposed to be the craft team. So today I have a craft for you that you can make at home, probably with materials that you already have in your house. Now you were talking about things that made you afraid, right? And I think there are a lot of things in this world that can make us afraid. So my instruction to you would not be just to pretend like you're not afraid and not to just go hide, but that when you have a fear, you need to talk to somebody about that fear, and you need to go to the source of truth. Now, as Christians, we know the source of truth is the Bible. Here's what it says in the Bible. I'm in the book of Colossians, chapter 1, verses 15 through 17. Here's what it says. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Now here's what this tells me. in those verses, I see that he has created everything. And then there it talks about he's created things that are visible and invisible and rulers and powers. So in this world, sometimes it can seem that things are really, really powerful and maybe even more powerful than God. And that can make us afraid when we see these things that are having powerful effects. This verse comforts me because it's saying that God is more powerful. He has created all of these things. He's created the world, he knows the world, he cares for the world, and he is in control. Now at the end it says that in him all things hold together. This comforts me so much because a lot of times in this world, things can sometimes feel like they are falling apart. Everything is changing and everything is different. But when I see all those things and when it's making me afraid, I remember that God remains the same. In him, all things hold together. So even when the world around me is changing, God remains the same. And he holds your past and your present and your future together. Aaron, what do you think about that?
It reminds me of one Gandalf the Grey, because when he was around, the Fellowship was doing just fine. But when he died, the Fellowship was broken. So he's kind of like the uniting power. I take it.
Sure, but God is more powerful than Gandalf and more powerful than any super person or character that you could even think of. Now today our craft goes with that verse, in him all things hold together. In this craft we're going to be making a woven bowl, and the strings that weave this together are going to hold the bowl together, just like how God holds our lives together. Now if for this craft you will need a paper plate. We just had these lying around. You will need something to trace, a pen, scissors, and a string. Aaron, what you're going to do first, you're going to set the bowl down, and you're going to trace a circle in the middle of the paper plate. Good job.
I did it.
Yes. Okay, now you're going to take the scissors, and you're going to make cuts onto the paper plate.
I'm going to do it.
Okay. It'll look something like this when you are finished, and there'll be little triangle cuts of paper plate that you'll have to recycle or throw away. After that, you'll take the string, so you can stop and use this one if you want. You'll take the string and you'll tie it onto one of those kind of petals that comes out, and then you're going to start weaving. Weaving is where you go over, under the next one, over, under, over, under. You want to try? Okay, and as you keep doing this, eventually the petals will start to curl in, and when you get all the way up to the top, it'll make a bowl. So if you keep doing that one, yeah?
I think I smell something.
Yeah?
Let me see.
You smell something?
Ha! There's already one in here.
Oh, I forgot I put that in earlier. There's one that's already done.
How neat.
So you can see that it's not, you can see that I wove it over, under, and I made a bowl. What do you think we should put in this bowl? Yeah, you could put lots of things in there.
Safe and secret.
And now it's time for Bible Literacy with Courtney, the part of this show where Courtney comes out and gives a Bible literacy lesson.
Our question is, who wrote the different New Testament letters? So if you have an idea of who wrote those, you can pause this video now, and actually on the back of your sheet, you can write down maybe a couple of ideas you have for who you think wrote those New Testament letters. You can pause this video and go ahead and write down those ideas. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to write down all the names of the authors. We have quite a few, so let's do this. We have So once again, who wrote the different New Testament letters? We have Paul, James, Peter, Jude, John, and then the unknown author of Hebrews. We're gonna go nice and high now, so you can pretend like you're a fairy. Why not? Let's do it. So, ready? Who wrote the different New Testament letters? We have go ahead and draw a picture or draw something to help you remember our answer to this question. It's James, right here. We're talking about James today, and we have some different hand motions we're going to be doing. So, get ready, my friends. Living with trials, doing what's right, watching what you say, trusting God. Okay, one more time. We got it. Ready? Living with trials, doing what's right, watching what you say, and trusting God. You got it. Awesome. Adoration, confession, thanksgiving, supplication. Awesome. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pray using all of my ideas, and you guys can bow your head with me and we can pray together. And then after I pray, you can go ahead and go through your sheet of paper and all the ideas you have, and you can pray as well for all the things that you wrote down. But let's go ahead, we'll bow our heads and close our eyes, and we'll all pray together. Ready? Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to still have a little piece of church even though we're not there today. And God, I just want to say that you're amazing and so powerful and trustworthy, and I just love you so much. Thank you for being all of those things and always being here for me and always looking over myself and my family and our church body. God, I want to confess that I wasn't always very kind this week or patient, and I really want to ask forgiveness for those things. I know that I need to work on my patience sometimes, and I can do that if I just lean on you and focus on you instead of leaning into earthly things and letting my fear and my frustration get out. I do want to thank you for keeping everyone safe this week through the earthquake and everyone healthy through this time. And I pray that you'll just continue to look over our church body and continue to keep us healthy through this time. Until we can all get together. I'm really looking forward to getting together again, but until now, I really thank you for giving us this opportunity to be together virtually. And I say these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
In Sunday school, we've been going over the fruits of the Spirit. We have been going over a different one every single month. Do you know which one we've been talking about in March?
Faithfulness.
Yes, absolutely. And if you were in Sunday school last week, you learned that God calls us to be faithful in the gifts that He has given us. Now, do you know one gift that God's given to everybody?
I believe I do. I would say the one thing we have in common is the gospel.
Yes.
Now, the gospel, that literally means good news. And that Jesus lived on mission to reveal to others God's plan for salvation. He was God's plan for salvation.
That's amazing news.
Yeah, and you know what? After Jesus' death and resurrection, He commanded His followers, me, you, and you, right?
Yes,
other Christians, to faithfully follow His example. And Jesus said, at the Great Commission, He said, "Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit."
Absolutely. And we are called to be faithful to share this good news. Now, some people who are going to be on mission for God are going to be called into their own neighborhoods to tell their neighbors. Some people are going to be called into their schools to tell their classmates and their teachers. Some people might even share the gospel in their own homes with their family members. Some people are called by God to go into places of the world where not a lot of people know about Jesus, and we call these people missionaries. Today we're going to look at a faithful missionary who, through lots of trouble, was faithful to share the good news of Jesus Christ with others. This missionary's name is David Livingstone. David Livingstone was born in Scotland in 1813. He grew up and he became a doctor, but he didn't know about Jesus until he was 20 when he heard the gospel.
I know what that means.
What does it mean?
Do you guys know what it means? Just kidding, it's a video, I can't hear you.
I bet they said good news. He learned the good news and it changed the entire direction of his life. He said that he was going to devote his entire life to God's service. 7 years into David Livingstone's mission work in Africa, two main passions began to emerge that would define his entire missionary life from here on after. One was that the continent of Africa is humongous, and missionaries who wanted to go in to talk to people about Jesus, there were no maps for them. They didn't know where to go, and oftentimes they would go into danger. He decided that he should be traveling so that he could make maps that would help people. The second main passion was the abolition of slavery. At that point in our world's history, England, the United Kingdom, where David Livingstone was from, had abolished slavery, and so had a lot of other countries. But there were still countries who were going down into Africa and enslaving people against their own will. David Livingstone thought this was horrible, and he was determined to show the world the evils of the slave trade and to expose what these people were doing. In 1853, David Livingstone set out to map the entire width of Africa from west coast to east coast. This was not an easy journey for him. He had to send his family back home. He had a wife and kids at that point. He had to endure lots of sicknesses along the way. There was not often clean drinking water or enough food for them to eat. There were hostile tribes and people there who did not want him to come. At one point, he was even attacked by a lion. But even with this danger and persecution, David Livingstone was never willing to give up. He remained faithful. He knew the call from God was that he would help missionaries get into Africa. He knew the call from God that he was to expose the evils of the slave trade. And though it was dangerous and uncomfortable for him and difficult, he kept going. To this day, people see David Livingstone as a faithful missionary for Jesus. He continued where others would have stopped. He persisted where others would have turned away. He not only inspired people to follow, but he left them actual maps to go in the same places that he did. Here's a quote from David Livingstone. He said, "I shall promote the glory of him whom I owe all my hopes in time and eternity." David Livingstone was faithful to the call to share the gospel. He wanted people to know the good news that he had learned about Jesus. All right, well, there was your Sunday school lesson for this weekend. Parents, there is more information and more materials in your email if you want to use them to take this lesson even further. Throughout this week, I hope you will challenge yourselves as a family. How can you still be faithful to share the gospel with the people in your lives who need it? Maybe you could send letters or emails. Maybe you could make someone a funny video. Maybe you could go to your neighbors and leave them cute gifts on their porch that are very sanitary. Aaron, do you have anything else to add? Oh no, not again. Aaron, what are you doing? Are you hiding again?
No, I'm not hiding. I don't need this board to hide anymore. I'm just really enjoying it. Yeah, it's so much fun.
All right, I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes.
But why?
Because then it's my turn.
What?
All right, kiddos, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching this video. Throughout the week, if your parents give you permission to make a fort, maybe out of pillows or blankets or even toilet paper, we would love to see them. So post them on the Lifeline Facebook page or email them to Pastor Rob. If you make one of the woven bowls, or if you find a creative way to share the gospel with someone in need, or maybe even if you make an aluminum hat, we'd love to see it.
What hat?